Newscast, Act 1, Scene 1, Take 1. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome to the Friday edition of WCDC, Communities That Don't Care's news program at 4:20. Right now we're coming to you live from the Nile in Egypt. We have top news stories for today. The first one, a student athlete in an Essex County town was picked up for speeding. He's found to have a pound of marijuana in his car. He was let go, and the pot disappeared. Neither the police nor the student can account for the marijuana. Shocking. In another late-breaking development, an honor student's parents supplied the keg and the keys. Well, actually, they took the keys away, but allowed students to throw up, to pass out, and to carry on with all kinds of shenanigans in the back 40, and nothing was done about it. Appalling. In another story, another student athlete had a car accident. He was found to be in possession of marijuana and alcohol, as well as being under the influence while operating the vehicle. The police helped him get his vehicle back on the road, and no tickets were issued. Surprising. Yet another one. There was a young man who was not connected, had no ties to the community, was not a student athlete, and he was arrested for 3 felonies, 2 misdemeanors, and a violation, and rumor has it there will be no plea bargaining, par usual. The final story today comes to us from another Essex County community, where a policeman manhandled a student in the school, in the hallway, during school hours, and the next day the same policeman went outside, ticketed a young man for an unregistered vehicle, put him in his police car, gave him a deal that he'd let the ticket go if the young man turned over some names of drug users in the community. The young man stayed 45 minutes in the car, detained from his midterm exams, and was given the ticket because he wouldn't turn over. That's it from Essex County, and now for a late-breaking news assignment down in Albany, New York. We will be visiting with Bud Weiser from New York State OSAS, that is Alcohol and Substance Abuse Program. To you, Phil Nellybell. Thanks, Phil. This is Phil Nellybell, live from Albany, New York, down at the state capitol. And I'm with Bud Weiser.
Hello,
from
Phil.
the Office of the Substance Abuse Service Program. Bud, we have a late-breaking report. There is a new program on the market that will stem the tide of drinking and drugging in Essex County. Is that true?
Phil, this is encouraging. There is such good news here with this program. Do you have a minute to talk about it?
Oh, you have exactly a minute.
Exactly a minute. Let me be brief, but I'll be concise.
Thank you.
Oh, you want to talk about it? Okay. Hey, this is a great program called Communities That Care. And I don't want to miss anything, so I'm going to read this verbatim from the guys that developed this. This is an operating system that, it's like kind of like a computer but different, that provides research-based tools to help communities promote positive development of children and youth. How am I doing here?
Keep going.
Okay. It mobilizes all community members who have a stake in healthy futures for their kids. Well, that would be everybody, wouldn't it? And check this out, man. It affects the entire social environment. The focus is on influencing norms, or normas if they're, depending on, which gender they're, values and policies which promote a safe and healthy community.
Thank you very much, Bud.
Oh.
Phil, back to you, but just listen. It's always been done that way in Essex County. Parents have always allowed their teens to do it. Everybody's smoking pot. All the students are doing it. Everybody is just, mayhem is breaking out. Bud, do you really think this program is going to help?
Well, of course it's going to help.
Thanks, Bud. Back to you, Phil, because we don't. Oh, thank you, Phil. That was an enlightening report. I can't wait. And now for the weather. For this weekend, Chris Mountain Man has some good news for you partiers. Chris?
Thanks, Phil. This weekend, for all you partiers, we'll have some good fronts coming in. Right now, I'm getting a word from the state troopers and from the National Weather Service that we'll have clear skies, and as well as a lot of parties down in the southern end of Essex County in Ticonderoga, sweeping back through Newcomb, up around the back side of Essex County, with a low pressure system of depression, alcohol, and other low depressing drugs. Just go there, it's a good time. And from the top of the county, we have Lake Placid. Lake Placid, full of all sorts of good times, high times, and of course the really high times. They're sweeping down towards the east, towards Keysville, meeting up with the low depression system coming up from the south, from Ticonderoga and Newcomb, towards E-Town to engulf the whole county itself. And from the National Weather Service and the New York State Department of Fun and Excitement, I've just learned that we have a stream coming up and down from Albany, going north to Canada, dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
with flocks and flocks of teenagers moving from the southern end of the county, grabbing others, going up north the Northway, up to Canada because you're 18 and you can drink up there. And when you get done with Canada, bye Canada, everybody comes back down, driving down this way, stopping off to make sure that they hit spots here, here, and even here of all sorts of parties. And don't forget, the rain, weather, all the storms coming from the cops this weekend will happen at 8:30, 11:30, and generally around 1:30 in the morning. Besides that, it should be clear skies, clear sailing, and just be careful and have fun, because I trust you and I know you'll have a good time. And that's about it for this weekend. Back to you, Phil.
Thanks, Chris. That was an enlightening report. I can't wait. Now, I have brought in two local student teens. We have Studley Doolittle and Babette Partey with us here today. I have them just to make a point. They've promised to be completely honest. Studley.
Yeah.
Do you ever have an occasional drink or something?
Of course I do, every once in a while.
Thanks, Stud. Why do you keep doing it? Won't people stop you?
Like who? I'm the star of the football team. Who's gonna stop me?
Does anybody care?
No. Nobody cares.
Thanks, Studley. Babette, from the female point of view, you've read the book, I think, for, the whole Venus Mars thing. Do girls drink as much as boys?
Oh, definitely. We always go out with the same party. We go to the same nights they do. Hang out all the time.
And would you say that there are some girls who can actually smoke and drink as much as guys do now?
Oh my goodness, you should have seen Sally the other week. I think she topped you over there.
She lasted me out 3 times over. She did a cake stand for like 2 minutes.
Definitely.
Well, we're going to have to get Guinness Book of Records on here to see if that's a world record yet or not, but we'll come back to that. Babette, how come no one, have you ever seen anybody get busted?
No, not at all. We get away with it all the time. Usually they'll stop us, then they move on.
So you're not afraid of getting busted?
Not at all.
Thank you very much, Studley and Babette. Obviously, you can tell folks that we have communities that don't care. Now, to a live new parent interview with Cody Pendon. Cody. Thank you, Phil. This is Cody Pendon, live from our plush studios in Burbank, with 3 parents that we've flown in from Essex County to do our special monthly piece, Parents That Care. With us today we have Betty Won't Die, Doug N. Abler, and Mary Jane Goodstuff. And these are 3 parents that have volunteered to come on today at no expense to them and answer a few questions about what's going on, because there is a new parent movement in Essex County that believes there is safe partying for teens. Betty, how about a comment?
I have no comment.
That's right. I'm sorry. I forgot your attorney told you not to say anything. Doug, is it true that you believe that kids can just drink and it won't be a problem?
Well, no, but if we're involved and they're involved under our guidance and watch care, it's not going to be a problem. That's why we're doing this movement, to get parents to provide safe drinking environments for their kids.
Is that where you got your name from? Mary.
What do you mean by that?
Mary, is it true that your family is reputed to be some of the local, let's just say, vegetarians of the area?
Well, I don't know if we're vegetarians, but we do keep very close watch on our kids, and anything that goes on is supervised by us. And kids are not allowed out under any circumstances. If they're partying, it's in our house only. Not out, not driving afterwards. The keys are in my hands. I have control.
And Doug, is it true that you became an EMT, so just in case something happened at a party, you could get these kids to the hospital?
It's not true. My wife became an EMT for that purpose.
I'm sorry, I got it mixed up. And Mary, one last question. How much do you allow the kids to do? Even though they don't drive, what do you allow them to get away with?
Well, you know, Mr. Codependent, a little drinking, or, you know, moderate, or whatever we feel they can tolerate and handle and be under control. We watch very carefully. They can do pretty much as they want at these parties, as long as they don't drive and we feel that they are under control.
We would rather they were under our supervision than out someplace else drinking and then having to drive back or go with their friends or whatever. So, you know, this just makes a lot more sense. They're going to drink anyway. It's always been that way. You know, it's a rite of passage, so we need to do something about it.
Okay, and one last question for any of you three. Are any of you afraid of getting arrested by the police?
For what?
Thank you very much. Back to you, Phil. Thank you, Cody. Interesting report. This is Phil McCracken back with the final piece for the day. Just to recap the highlights. Student athlete found with a pound of marijuana, let go. Honor student's parent supplies party. Another student athlete has a car accident, helped out of the ditch. Another student who's not connected, thrown in jail. And the harassment by the police on a student are the top 5 stories of the day. And we had those interesting reports from OSAS down in Albany, New York. We had the parents group, and we also had those very courageous teenagers. And for you party goers, the weather report letting you know where all the hot spots will be this weekend. And for the rest of my WCDC crew, this is Phil McCracken signing off. Thank you. Good night.
I trust you've all stopped laughing by this time at our spoof in the genre of Saturday Night Live. We know that in Essex County there are a lot of people that care in all our communities. And yet what we try to portray is the fact that part of this process of planning community prevention needs to take a look at some of the realities. And some of those are the things that we spoofed on in this video. And they are that there are a lot of attitudes that are deeply ingrained that will take a long time to change. And while we take a look at a good operating system such as Communities That Care and the people around the table or around the community, around the county that do care and want to be involved, we need to take all of this into consideration. We're real hopeful that as we do that, we will be able to make an impact. We know it takes a long time with a lot of effort to bring about real change. But we believe that working together and understanding the reality of our situation, we can bring that about. And we'll be able to look back at some point in the future and say, communities do care in Essex County. Thanks.